Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. More movie news in the world of film. This is not really a horror movie discussion, though. This is more of just an excitement discussion in the sense that they're making a Goonies 2. Yeah, not a remake, which I think people would be more pissed off about is a remake of the Goonies. They're actually going to do a continuation, which I think they're already in talks with like the original cast, which I really feel like is the only way anybody would ever want to see another Goonies is if they brought everybody back to do something. I hope it's not like a rehash of what was already special about the first film, but try to do something a bit different, like have them go on an adventure, make a good movie, focus on just making a good sequel to what pretty much is. I feel like everybody I've talked to, almost everybody has put the Goonies in their top 20 favorite films of all time. Maybe not even top 10, but where it would be in my top 10, but like top 20. It is that beloved, and everybody I know quotes it. Everybody quotes the Goonies. It's so likable. The characters are so likable. The story is so much fun, and the effects, and it really is just an adventure. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of people taking this very seriously when going further with this conversation. I know they have Steven Spielberg producing, which is already great, but Steven Spielberg produces crap too, so that doesn't really make me all too excited. It's great that he's aboard, but I really, it's not like a done deal thing for me. So let's go ahead and take a look at the article by Deadline, and I'll give you guys my thoughts during and after. Ponziroli, if I mispronounced the name, not my intentions. I do apologize for anybody that I probably ticked off with that. Anyways, let's go ahead and check this out. Let me go ahead and look up the name really quick. Again, I'm not trying to mispronounce it. I just don't know how to pronounce it right. Anyways, let's go to IMDb and check out his filmography. The Rescuer, director, producer. That's for director. Let's go to producer. And he's written, some of the stuff looks like it's gotten some decent reviews. 7.3 for Old Henry, which came out in 2021. Haven't watched it. Still the King TV series, which got a 5.5 out of 10. It's not really all too exciting. I'm assuming they probably already have shown him something. I'm assuming with Steven Spielberg, like he wrote something and it showed everybody and we're like, hey, I got an idea for a sequel. Tell me what you think. I'm at least hoping, because I just don't see them wanting to greenlight something like this unless they knew that they had something kind of special with it. If they wanted to make a cash grab, they would have done it years ago, right? You could have come out with a Goonies sequel like right after, and I'm sure they were even in the talks to do it at some point. They probably decided, since got nothing really all too good, let's just not make something, because that could be a cash grab, and we got something really special here. That's what I'm assuming. I'm going to go with it. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the article. Goonies never say die, and neither does the dream of a sequel, as momentum seems to be gaining on a long-rumored project with Old Henry's Ponziroli coming aboard to pen the script for Warner Bros. Motion Picture Group. Plot details are under wraps. No director is currently attached. Steven Spielberg, Christy Macasko, Krieger, and Holly Berrio will produce for Amblin Entertainment alongside Chris Columbus, with Lauren Schuler, Donner, etc. producing. The Goonies development comes around 2 weeks after the cast reunion at TCL Chinese theaters in celebration of Kiwi Kwan's hand and foot imprint ceremony, a classic adventure comedy approaching its 40th anniversary. Crazy. I used to go to my cousin's house and we used to watch this movie all the time. The Goonies was one of the ones that, if for whatever reason, if I could find a VHS for the Goonies, oh my God, if you have any extra copies, send it my way, because I would love to revisit that nostalgia by putting it on in my VHS player back there and watching it on VHS again, because that is nostalgic. The original introduced the world to a group of misfit kids, Mikey, Mouth, Data, Chunk, and others, who embark on a treasure hunt to save their homes from foreclosure. The journey takes them through the underground tunnels, booby traps, and encounters with the villainous Fratelli crime family, all leading to the discovery of the long-lost treasure of the pirate One-Eyed Willie. You know where I figured this sequel would go, especially if it's years after? Because at the end of the movie, it's been out for 40-plus years now, so if you have not seen the Goonies, I'm about to drop a little bit of spoilers here. The ship is sailing off in the distance, right? One-Eyed Willie's ship is sailing off in the distance. It's no longer trapped within the walls of the cave, and it's sailing off. Now, the Goonies themselves should be rich from that. In my opinion, they should have gotten all the credit. And if that's the case, they would be rich. Imagine that. Imagine they got success from the treasure and the ship, One-Eyed Willie. Now it's like in a museum or whatever have you. I really think they should go along with that, because that would make the most logical sense, right? The kids are the ones that discovered it. And the Fratellis maybe are pissed off that they got all the credit and decide to do something about it. Or there's so many things you could do for a Goonies sequel. I'm not saying that's like the ideal direction a director should take the sequel, but there's so many things you could do there. And I think what they wanted to do was like bring their kids into the story. I mean, this was talked about a while back where they were like mentioning, oh, maybe it'd be interesting if like all their kids went on an adventure or a journey, but they would have no reason to try to make money, especially when the kids themselves are honestly the reason why One-Eyed Willie ship was even discovered in the first place. They should have gotten all the credit. At least in my opinion, that's what it should be. Though I guess all the stuff that was in the attic belonged to the museum, so all that stuff would probably go back to the museum. So technically, I guess the museum would have been responsible for why the ship was discovered anyways, but the kids put themselves through serious trouble to get to that point, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's what happened. Like all that stuff in the attic was going directly back to a museum. A cornerstone of 80s pop culture, the film launched the careers of young actors such as Josh Brolin, Sean Astin, Corey Feldman, Martha Plimpton, and Kiwi Kwan. Richard Donner directed from a script by Columbus, which was based on a story by the project's producer, Steven Spielberg. The idea of a Goonies sequel has been floating around for decades, but despite persistent rumors and interest from fans, and some of the original cast has not yet come to fruition. Oddly, as recently as last fall, stars Feldman and Plimpton were talking on social media to pour cold water on the idea of a sequel, while they're all still relatively young, right? Like, they're all middle-aged guys and gals right now, so, like, right now would be, if you're gonna do it now, while they're still all ready and they're good to go, right? As we were first to tell you, Ponchiroli, I know I'm not saying it's going to bother me, it's in the back of my mind, just recently signed on to direct The Rescue, a Western starring Brandon Sklenar, which Skydance is looking to shoot this summer. Breaking Out with Old Henry, a Western starring Tim Blake Nelson, which premiered to critical acclaim of the 2021 Venice Film Festival. He prior rapped on Motor City starring Alan Ritchson, Shailene Woodley, and Ben Foster, with Stampede Ventures producing. Ponchiroli is also responsible for Lionsgate's crime comedy Greedy People, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Lily James, and Himesh Patel. I know I'm butchering names here. Not intentional. As well as the Billy Ray Cyrus series, Still the King. Before that, he directed over 70 commercials and music videos from artists such as Luke Bryan, Kenny Chesney, Yellow Wolf, Cage the Elephant, and many more in the rock, rap, and country genres. Also the co-founder of Hideout. Okay. So that seems to be it. So this guy right here is going to go ahead and start making a script if he already has not one, which I'm hoping he already had one and they were good with it. Because I don't want him just to start saying, oh, let's greenlight the first thing we see. No, this guy is obviously not huge within the film world, because you never know. This guy could come out and give us gold, right? This guy could come out and just give us something truly special here. I'm not too worried about it. Also because if they're going to do this, they need to be like really, really watching what this guy does, right? Like what he's going to write in there, what the humor is going to be. The humor for the Goonies is so special. Don't mess it up. They were so great. The timing was perfect. You don't want to mess this up. That's my biggest worry here, is like, I'm cool with a Goonies sequel. I think it's long overdue. And you know, we recently got another sequel to a very classic film, which was Beetlejuice. We finally got a sequel to Beetlejuice called Beetlejuice. And for the most part, it was fine. You know, Tim Burton came on and directed. And I gotta say, out of Tim Burton's most recent work, it's probably one of his better ones. And it does kind of continue with the Beetlejuice feel, which I love. I'm hoping they do the same thing with the Goonies. And Gremlins 3 is about to come out. So Gremlins 3 is going to be using puppets. What made Gremlins so special were the puppets. Even the second movie used puppets. Bring back the puppets. No CGI. They already said they weren't going to do that, so we're getting a Gremlins 3 with puppets. The Goonies needs to be practical. It needs to be entirely practical. Sets need to be made. If you're going to do another journey and adventure, they need to go down those journeys and adventures with real sets, because that's what made the original film so special. So please, if you're going to do this, if you're really going to do it, don't throw in all this CGI. Don't bring us a cash grab. Don't just start writing fart jokes and things like that. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want these characters to come back, and I want them to be the same people they were in the previous film. Having said all of that, this is exciting for me because I love this film so much. This is also one of the most nerve-wracking stories too, because it's like, you mess it up, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Are you excited? Are you mixed? What are you feeling right now, knowing they're going to go ahead with this idea? Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this guy should be the writer for it, or do you think they should get someone who's more familiar? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, do take care. If you can't, 3 cards, through.